is it going to end, Callum? When's it going to end? Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to Sporty Spotlight. I am once again joined by Calum Samuels. And yeah,
Hello.
It's a bit of a, honestly, I call this a bit of a dark chapter in the history of Norwich City. For the first time in the club's 123-year history, we've lost 5 games in a row at home. It can't go on like this, can it?
It can, but...
Or it can, or it will. God. Callum...
Probably both, mate.
That was so poor.
It was, mate.
Really, it's, to say below par, I said this on BBC Radio Norfolk last night when I was on Canary Call, and I stand by it. To say this below par is an insulting, disgusting understatement.
Mate, it's embarrassing. Like, for a club of our stature, we should be in that top 6. Instead, we could be playing the likes of, not Stevenage. Stevenage in League One. I can't think of a team in League One. We could be playing Wigan next season.
Oh God!
In League One, mate.
There's more. Do you think there would be more away fans than home fans? Like, how many do you think we'd even bring to that?
I reckon we'd sell out. Like our fan base is loyal. I mean, 24,000 last night for a Wednesday night game. Even, I mean, it's our worst attendance of the season, but we're still selling 20k even when we're playing like this.
I mean, it was crazy. That's our worst attendance in like 10 years. And that says a lot about the size of the club that this is. And also, we're averaging 25,000 for every home game, and those sorts of performances, they need to be reflected by that fan base. Because I thought, for large majorities, I was in the Barclay last night.
Yeah.
You're in the Regency, of course. But yeah, it was still relatively loud. There was still quite a lot of noise coming from there, and not all of it was pleasant, really. There was a lot of jeering, a lot of booing, and it's justified, really, because people pour their blooming, people just take this, they just chuck it on they chuck it on an open fire, pay for
exactly
match tickets.
Well, for audio listeners, Ranulph's just picked up his wallet and talking about that. So, but mate, even in the Regency, towards the end, it was starting to get a bit toxic. Like with Barclay, there was obviously audible boos, which you could hear from the outside the stadium. I left early, which obviously never done in my 15 years of supporting Norwich City. But mate, like you said, it's diabolical at the moment.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. And, frankly, it is really down to those players on that pitch. So just one thing I'd just like to, if you're right to go through. I don't really do this very often, but yeah, Callum, make sure to go and subscribe to the channel. I'll leave a link down in the description below. In your match verdict, you did some player ratings. So if you don't mind me reading these out, okay. So Vladan Kovacevic got an 8 out of 10. Jack Stacey with a 7 out of 10. Harry Darling, another 7 out of 10. Jose Cordoba, a 4 out of 10. Kellen Fisher, 5 out of 10. Pele Matson, 6 out of 10. Kenny McLean, 7 out of 10. Oscar Schwartwell, 5 out of 10. Emi Marcondes, 4 out of 10. Ante Sinat, 2 out of 10. And Josh Sargent, 5 out of 10. Now, probably the one a lot of those are perfectly valid. Kenny McLean. So yeah, one thing before we get on further, one thing that you did say to me last night before the game, and I think you said to me today, that Norwich need to stop relying on Kenny McLean all the time.
We do, because like I said to you before we started filming tonight and last night, it's 2025, and yet we don't have a creative defensive midfielder who can drive with a ball unless it's Kenny. And when Kenny's injured, like we saw over the last couple of weeks, Wrexham, he was injured. The whole soul of the team went. Coventry, he played, I think 60, came off. We looked terrible. And last night, we looked better with Kenny in that team. It's shocking.
We did look better with him in that team. Well, frankly, what I didn't understand was why, he was starting. The lineups said he was starting in DM, in defensive midfield, where he always plays. He was playing at centre back the entire time he was on, and that just says a lot about where this back line is. Really, it really does. And honestly, pushing Harry Darling up the pitch, I don't understand why Liam Manning thinks that's a good idea. He's a centre back. He's not a midfielder. He's a centre back. He's a centre back.
Exactly.
Stop trying to play players out of position, which we'll get onto hopefully momentarily, but it's just it's ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, going on to, I think we should probably talk about the player who, is going on to playing out of position. So, Ante Sinat with the lowest of the lot, 2 out of 10, which is frankly justified. I thought he had probably one of the worst games he's ever had in the shirt.
Of course.
Frankly, I think there's a player in there, but he's not a winger. He's not a cam. He's a striker.
He is, mate. He is.
He's a striker, and that's where we can get the best out of him. But of course, while Josh Sargent is still at the club, he's still going to be the go-to first choice number 9. There's never going to be any dispute about that.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. And we saw last season when Sarge was injured, Cernats came into that number 9.
Yeah.
Scored against Stoke. Got
1 against Luton.
1 against Plymouth.
Yeah.
2 against Luton, like you said.
Oh, what?
He looked good in that number 9.
He really did. But to be honest, I think he's feeling a bit in limbo at the moment because he's just probably thinking to himself, what am I doing here? Why? He probably doesn't even, I feel, a large part of me does feel bad for him because he's probably just, he doesn't understand what he's supposed to do. Without that number 9 role, he's probably just struggling to find out where his worth is. And
exactly, mate.
It's difficult to see that when he's being played out of position because he just looks completely off it when he does. And that's a shame, really.
He does, mate. And another player that I feel really sorry for, like, he got some minutes last night, Mate Jurasek, because there is a player in him. Like, I know that people are going to be like, you've only seen highlights of him on YouTube. But when he's played for us, he got an assist against Wrexham. He's one of the only players last night to have a real run out the West Brom defence. He had a good free kick whipped in, which was headed over the top, I think, from Makama. Mate, there is a player in him, but we're just not getting the actual time to see him.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about Mate Jurasek is he's still someone we're trying to figure out. We're still trying to. Thing is, though, us as fans, probably because we saw so little of him last season after everyone was, thinking, we've got this guy who scored against Milan. He's going to be he's going to be absolutely elite. And then he just never played.
Exactly.
So, Mate Jurasek, I do think, please just don't remind me about that. Oh, God, that miss.
Oh, God,
Skied over the bar. It was ugly.
Oh, God, no, but the player missed it before, Cernats. Both players that we talked about have missed sitters and missed a second. Like, as a professional athlete, them both should be scoring from that type of position in that type of game.
And you really should. And also, frankly, I thought Darling missed. I mean, you would have seen this. You would have seen him of this. I think Darling should have had us level in the first half. So just going on to players who I thought looked promising. Lucien Mahovo, I thought when he came on, he looked good. He was getting us forward. He was driving us forward. We were creating chances throughout the whole game. And Connor Southwell did say that's probably that's probably our most commanding and frankly our best performance at home so far. And we still lost. It just does say a lot about where we are. But Lucien Mahovo, thought, really, really happy to see him back from injury. Really, really hope he does get more and more minutes going, as the season progresses. Pele Matson, I thought looked good as well. I thought he was, in that in that DM position, he doesn't look like a very physical player, but he was winning challenges. He was, he didn't really show a lot of fear when he was, going in for those, heavy, bulky challenges. And, I was just very happy with what I saw from him. I thought he really, really applied himself. And
totally agree.
looking forward to seeing what we get from him.
Yeah, same here.
So, yeah, in a very, very poor performance, who do you think looked okay?
Well, as a standout player altogether, out of that like team of like shambolic players once again, I'm gonna have to go with a player you just described, Pal Matson. Because like you said, he looks like a player who can really shine this season. And we're seeing like real glimpses of a top quality player in there. Because I know that we only got him because Nunes went to you know who, which we'll get onto in this video in the pod. But Pal Matson looks like an upgrade because he can get him a ball, he can turn, and he can get us forward, and he's not injury prone. Well, not yet anyway. But I'll probably just curse him, He's probably going to get injured at who on Sunday.
No, there's only one player who will be getting injured on that pitch, I think, and
we both know who.
We'll get onto that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just onto the game itself. I thought West Brom, in terms of West Brom, Ryan Mason is doing a very solid job there at the moment, and they fully deserve the 3 points. Josh Griffiths, I thought he had the game of his life. He spent a lot of his career so far, down on on loan in the lower leagues. He was at Bristol Rovers last season, and to do that's just a huge statement. And I really do think he's that's going to be a huge statement in him keeping the number one spot at West Brom. And also, I saw him smiling at a couple of fans. He seems like a nice bloke as well. So, yeah. Josh Maja, but the Josh Maja goal was confusing because the thing is that I know exactly the Stoke game.
Yeah,
you could just tell that we were just parking the bus the whole time, and I can imagine from a Stoke perspective. I've actually spoken to a Stoke fan that watching a team you're playing against park the bus and just being unable to break them down, that's very frustrating. And that's exactly what West Brom were doing. They're putting a lot of men behind the ball. They were soaking up pressure, absolutely fine, and they saw the game out for the clean sheet as they deserved to. So yeah, not really sure there's really much left to say on the game itself, except from the fact, I actually on Radio Norfolk on the Canary call last night, Ewan Roberts actually, I said if you're watching this, Mr. Roberts, I just want to say I'm sorry if
Ewan.
It's been if there's been a bit of a misunderstanding here. The performance itself, now looking about it, wasn't necessarily disgraceful. It's it was bad. It was bad. I'm not saying it wasn't bad. What I think is disgraceful, I'm sorry if I misinterpreted this. What I think is disgraceful is the fact that we've lost 5 games in a row at home. That's what's bad.
100%.
That's what concerns me.
Exactly, because like I said earlier, a team that's chasing top 6 football should not be losing 5 games in a row at home. We should be winning 5 games in a row at home. We should be showing intent to get into the top 6, but instead we're showing intent that we could be in a relegation battle come May.
Oh, God. Right.
It's starting to become a reality.
Yeah, it really, really is. Reality checks are coming. The paper's starting to sink in. Now, I need to ask you this question. I can see a certain someone's face up there. Where do you stand on Liam Manning?
Well, I put a story up on my Instagram earlier saying, should Manning go or should he stay?
Should I stay or should I
go now? But that's probably what Manning's listening to right now. But in my opinion, give him time. I know that I put on my stories that he's got to go after Ipswich, but the thing is, though, we didn't give Forrest time. Well, we gave him most of the season, and we saw what happened there. But it does remind me of David Wagner's first season, if you get what I mean. Because he had that already rocky start, and then we gave him a whole season and he got us into a top 6. And we've been told that Manning has a shaky first season at every single club that he's had. And the second season's like his best season.
I mean, to be fair though, yeah, Bristol City, I think that was his first. I think this was his first season after they poached him from Oxford United. So yeah, I remember Bristol City were, they finished like 12th in the league, but I actually got to watch them. I went down to watch West Ham play Bristol City in the FA Cup, and they put in such a shift. They deserved to win it. West Ham looked like the championship team on the pitch, and can I just say those limbs? I think that was about like 10,000. Actually, no, probably even more than that. More like 15,000 Bristol City fans there, and yeah, the whole cider army came down, and those limbs still haunt me. And then they did go on to win the replay, which is probably hence one of the reasons why David Moyes ended up getting the sack. But yeah, Manning was still playing great football in the first season, did ultimately fall short of playoffs, but that was probably largely because of, problems with squad depth, but they had a good transfer window, and last season, they're still doing well this season, but last season City were playing some absolutely fantastic football, and there were glimpses of them. I really, really did think, they might be able to nick the playoffs, and Bristol City in the Premier League would just be scenes now.
It would be, mate. Yeah, they'd be my friend team.
Now, I suppose the less said about those playoff semi-finals, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is going to take some time. But the thing is, though, it's not necessarily time that we have, because Norwich City are a Premier League club. Like in terms of stature and in terms of many of the things that do build up the club at our Premier League level are at a Premier League level. The training grounds, for example, probably
best in the league.
The best thing that Stuart Webber did. They're at a Premier level. So yeah, like is this necessarily time that we have? Do you think there's still time for us to turn this around, and if it's still scrappy in that, or do you think we should give Manning some time, unlike
that man? Yeah, I mean, we gave that man time, and he had that a rocky end to the season. I could see why we sacked him, but with Liam Manning, like, there's calls for him to go. Like, it seems like I do agree with some of it, but I can see what he's trying to do. Like, the play style's there. It's just the players haven't bought into it yet, in my opinion. Because you can see what he's trying to do, but it's just not working.
Yeah, I mean, at least, honestly, the football under Torab was the most entertaining.
It was, mate.
And, part of me does still miss him. Like, we weren't in this position at all. We were winning games at home at this point, and we looked a bit more commanding. Of course, there were a lot of problems around Johannes Torab's tenure, but Norwich kept the ball well, and that was just not something we've been able to do well under Manning so far already.
Exactly.
I mean, how could you not miss this guy? I mean, look at him.
I know.
I mean, he's still gorgeous, isn't he?
He is so gorgeous. I want him back. Come back.
Oh,
Johannes, come back, mate. I miss you. If you're watching this, Johannes.
What's that Jackson 5 song? Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I want you back.
But yeah, I think you're right in saying, players still haven't bought into the system. But, and I still think, I did say it, I do still think this Norwich team will click, but it's taking its time, really.
It's taking its sweet time, mate.
It really is. And to be honest, getting on to Sunday, which we will soon, I think that's do or die for Manning.
It is.
It really is.
I know I said all of that, but over the last couple of weeks, I still want him in. Don't get me wrong, but my mindset is starting to turn, because we were both at Stoke. We heard the starting of a Napper out, Manning out chants from some of the supporters, which I get why they did it, but not in September. Don't do it in that time.
God, that's like Spurs saying they were going to win the Premier League September a couple of years back when they were top, and then unbeaten and then lost 4-1 at home to Chelsea. So yeah, getting on to some like stuff outside football. The F1 Grand Prix this weekend. Please, I'm being stupid. Where is it this weekend?
I think it's Singapore. I'll have a look now.
Singapore. Well, there's one driver of which we're all. Please just confirm it's Singapore.
I will, mate. I believe it is.
I'll just but yeah, the one driver we'd all really, really like to see do well
is Lewis
Hamilton. Now, as you all
know, Singapore.
Yeah. Now, as you all will know, he did announce the passing of his dog, Roscoe, at the week. This Monday, I think it was this Monday.
It was this Monday, yeah.
I know exactly what it's like to lose a dog. It is the worst thing in the world.
Same.
And for that, I'll do my best to sympathise and understand what's probably going through his head right now. So yeah, my thoughts and prayers and my love goes out to everyone who had the pleasure of knowing Roscoe. And we all want to see Hamilton back at his best. Which he's been off. He's been off it for the past few years now.
Yeah,
a real shame.
It is, mate. It is. But I really do think that this race could be it for him, because obviously, like, rest in peace, Roscoe. Like, but I really do think he's going to try and win it and dedicate it to him. I know that sounds a bit, but like you said, like, how it is to lose a dog. I know how it is to lose a pet. Like, it just really hurts you. Like, it just, like, you don't know what to do. But I really hope Lewis can get a win this weekend.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. Go on, go do it for Roscoe, boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other big thing that happened this weekend ahead of talking about other things other than football. Europe retained the Ryder Cup over the USA.
They did.
Come on.
Get in. Come on. And to Donald Trump, by the way, we've done it again. Have it. We are so back.
Have it.
But they thought they were going to win it. We've still got it. Where's your Ryder Cup, America?
Come on.
But mate, what a weekend it was for Europe.
Sick weekend.
So
you love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Come on, Europe. Now, but the thing is, though, I did hear a lot of things that were going on around it that people are comparing to football hooliganism. Not that it, unnerved any of the players at all, because they got the job done. But the next one, which is in 2027, which will be held in Ireland, I think is for the best.
Getting,
to say the least. So yeah, before we get on to the subjects that I think we should all get on, I think we're all just waiting for it to begin. I'll tell you what, right? Manchester United this Saturday host Sunderland in another 3:00 kickoff. Now, this is maybe bold. I am fully backing Sunderland to get 3 points here.
Yeah, I mean,
Trafford.
Now I've got Manchester blood in my family. They are United fans.
Well, you like Salford, don't you?
Yeah, I'm like Salford through and through. Like from there, like they're my second team. But most of my family are United fans, and they've been going on all week saying that if they lose to Sunderland and Ruben Amorim's gone,
he still won't get the sack. I think they'll still keep him in. They should have sacked him after Grimsby.
They should have. That was embarrassing, mate.
But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, and probably the other one I'd like to mention, the other 3:00 kickoff.
Yeah,
it's the first chance for Nuno Espirito Santo to truly make a statement away from home.
Exactly.
Although Monday was very good.
It was a 1-1 draw for you lot.
Arsenal versus West Ham United. Now,
Ooh,
dare I say it? Dare I say to beg to say
I know
it?
what you're going to say.
West Ham's away record at the Emirates has been fairly good.
As you've won your last two, ain't you?
1-0 last season, 2-0
3-0
previous season.
before. Yeah, so
So
mate, you could do it again.
we'd love to see it. We'd absolutely love to see it. But the thing is though, the thing with Arsenal, could they potentially be turning into top? Because they got they beat Newcastle, which I think they deserve to. Frankly, I don't think it was a penalty. I think that was perfectly valid. But if they lose this one, they're effectively turning into Spurs because that's Arsenal coming Spursy. If you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It's gone the other way around, mate. Tottenham are now becoming like the most successful team. Mate, the tables have turned. Arsenal used to be successful, now it's Tottenham.
I mean, they've got rid of Daniel Levy now, so probably becoming a much more serious club.
I mean, if they still had Daniel Levy going into 2026, then you got to be asking questions, don't you?
But it doesn't bode well.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, going on to our beloved championship once again. Before we get on to the stuff about our game against our dear friends Ipswich this weekend.
Yep. Hello, boys.
Hello, lads. Now, tomorrow night, I didn't actually get to speak about this when I hosted Wayne Jones on here, which was absolute pleasure. Tonight, tomorrow night, Friday Night Football, Wrexham versus Birmingham City. This is not a derby.
A crunch game.
This is not a derby. This is not a derby. This is not Luke Wrexham Walker versus Darth Birmingham. All right.
Are they calling it a derby?
It's not. It's just not though.
Mate, that is shambolic if they're calling it a derby.
Not. They didn't mind each other before then.
Yeah, behind.
Yeah, it's two teams on the up. I think the Wrexham, despite what everyone said about them, I think they're a proper club. And Birmingham, just as much so. Damari Gray. I don't mind him getting another goal, although, to be honest, I think Sheffield Wednesday it was Tuesday night. They were extremely done. They were extremely hard done by. Everyone would have loved to see them get a win, and that would have climbed them out of the relegation zone.
That would have been scenes. But unfortunately, Damari Gray has to go and score a 99th minute equaliser to ruin that. So, cheers, Damari.
And on to another point about Wednesday right now. I think that the club itself is due a points deduction soon due to unpaid wages, and that's just that's not fair. It's not fair. It's disgusting.
It's so sickening.
I guess it's the sort of thing they need to do at the same time, but I don't understand why the EFL hasn't done anything to stop De Jong. I don't know why they have perfectly enough authority to just go in there and say, "Get out! You're not welcome here anymore." But they haven't.
I know, and I think it was the old Crystal Palace chairman. He offered to buy them, but he's now dropped out because Defon's offered like 70 million to buy Sheffield Wednesday, and obviously, that is a large sum of money for a club that players haven't been paid since I think it was May, June time. It's now September, October time, and they've still not been paid. They've got families and everything to feed, and they have to wait for wages to come in really late, which, like you said, is sickening. But EFL need to do something now because it's getting beyond a joke.
To be fair, I can imagine a lot of Wednesday players, similar to just a lot of modern footballers, have a lot of other forms of income. You see one of our academy boys, I can't remember his name off the back of my head, but he's got a sock brand, Grip socks, which is really good. But that's just, it's poor, it's disgraceful.
Yeah,
it really is.
Mate.
So I suppose we might as well just get on to. It's probably the only time we're ever going to play on a Sunday this entire season, unless we get an FA Cup draw away, because we just don't play on Sundays, do we?
No, we don't. And it's supposed to be a rest day, but this Sunday it's going to be a stress day.
Ain't that damn right? Damn right.
Yeah.
Okay, so
here we go.
Ipswich Town versus Norwich City. The East Anglian derby returns after a year-odd wait. Right, okay. Now, this is going to be... I don't see... Oh god, how this is going to go.
This is going to be horrible.
I think that bodes well. This is going to be horrible. But I remember this sort of thing going into the last one at Carrow Road. It was at Portman Road, actually, that fateful 16th of December. Pretty much the date we were all talking about for the last 4 months there.
The streak's death date.
Yeah. Ipswich, I've actually heard this from... Ipswich are not playing the flashy football they were when they won automatic promotion 2 years ago. They're not that team. They're not that team anymore. And I've got an account to back this up. Up. So I've got quite a few ITFC friends at my school. And in their 2-1 win against Portsmouth, he was very clearly not happy about the way they sorted it out, because it was quite clear. So Ipswich, of course, went 2-0 up by half time, but Kieran McKenna's approach, seemingly for the rest of the game, was just to park the bus, and they soaked up pressure. They, effectively got battered by Portsmouth, and they conceded in the 94th minute, and frankly, were lucky not to concede an equaliser. So, this Ipswich team does have problems as well. Whether or not, those problems are going to be, exposed by Norwich, it's going to be very, very difficult to, break that team down, and I'm really, I'm concerned. I'm still very concerned as to how this game will go. But yeah, this Ipswich team, that team's not perfect, just as we are.
Yeah, I'm starting to get excited now that you said that, because I was expecting to go into Sunday and still see that flashy team in which we saw a couple of years ago dominating the championship. We were trying to get into playoffs. They were battering teams 4-3 against. No, they lost 4-3 to me. It's my bad. They beat Preston 4-2 that season.
Yeah, Preston 4-2 that season when they were top of the league. They beat Rotherham 4-3 that season as well, in which Rotherham, I think, fully deserved a point. They came from 3-1 down and playing awful.
Yeah. Cafu.
Yeah. Are you going?
I'm not, mate. I'm going to Milan and Castle with Jacob Gooch.
I see.
So shout out to him.
Gucci. I cannot go, unfortunately. I have a rehearsal, which I must attend.
Lucky you, mate.
Yeah.
I wish I had something like that.
I mean, to be fair, it will be good. I'll have to have it on silent on ITV, which, by the way, might as well talk about this. It's a great scheme, having Championship on ITV. It's the sort of thing you love to see. We sort of, a couple of years ago, we were just waiting once a year, might get a good FA Cup draw, and then we'll get
to watch on free TV
on that. But we'll be able to get in on that action.
Exactly.
Yeah, but now we can much more actively, which is very nice to see.
Do we really want to watch that based on what we played this season?
Sorry?
Do we really want to watch that after how we've been playing this season?
Well, it's not necessarily of wanting to, it's more of an obligation, really.
Yeah, to watch it, innit?
So, Ipswich players that I do think are going to cause problems. I know what we all think about him, and I've heard this from a lot of Ipswich fans. But George Hurst is still their regularly starting number 9, and with service from players like Jens Kajuste, and although my opinions on him I won't go into. Leif Davis is somehow still an Ipswich player. I think they've done a miracle to keep a hold of him. It's going to be an extremely hostile game. I think the atmosphere is going to be horrific.
It will be.
From them specifically, but we need to do everything we can. And
we need to.
Yeah. I've sort of... Oh, God. I think you know where I'm going to go next time.
I know where you're going to go, and I'm not liking it one bit.
Callum, could you please take the reins on this one, on the subject of Marcelino Nunez?
Oh, God. I think you mentioned to me a couple of days ago. I think you mentioned it to me at Stoke, actually. We were talking about it. I think I mentioned it to you, actually. I said, it's going to be 2-2, 90th minute. Nunez is somehow going to pick up the ball and shoot. It's going to go through everyone and land in the back of the net, and that's last weekend. And I'm dreading that because I'm starting to think that will actually happen. And that's the thing. I think most Norwich fans are like dreading just Nunes shooting from distance
Yeah,
because
really are.
it's going to go in.
He's
And
the snake.
yeah, I know, mate. I know. The wink.
I don't understand. Just
I know.
it still baffles me. It still shocks me. Still part of me still doesn't want to believe it, even after all this time. I
Exactly.
wouldn't have expected that from someone like him.
Nah, no way. Like, he seemed so loyal when he joined us. He loved us. Well, obviously he didn't, but he looked like he loved this club.
Fake
But
plastic player. I've been listening.
exactly.
I've been listening to a lot of Radiohead about him.
Been listening to a lot of Green Day thinking about him.
Oh God. Wait, which song specifically?
An American Idiot, but instead a Chilean idiot.
Wait, well, where's even? Wait, that's the song? That's the name of the album, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
American
and
Idiot. I
there's
know
a
21
song.
Guns from there.
Yeah, like, they've got a song called American Idiot, but I just like to think of it as Chilean idiot. Do you want to be a Chilean idiot?
I just, hopefully.
Oh, we need to get something
You left
there.
us walking alone.
Mate.
Oh God. But yeah, on to the game that comes after this. I think we should get into.
Yeah.
The 21st of October, Ipswich Town host Charlton Athletic. And guess who's just signed for Charlton?
Oh no. Oh no, Hernandez runs down the wing for me. We love Ronaldo. We actually do.
And to be honest, I do genuinely think, people
He's gonna go through him.
No, yeah, people took the mick out of Onel for that video, thinking, oh, he's all talk, he's all, this is all drivel, what he's saying.
He means it.
But the fact is, though, we were all thinking, a lot of people, including myself, thinking, he's in the latter end of his career, he might drop down to League One, I think, but he's been signed, he's got a contract with the Championship team. And he's going to get game time there. He hasn't got any yet because I suppose it was very, very soon in the derby game. But he will be playing. He will be playing.
I'm excited.
He'll drop straight back. He will drop straight into that starting 11 as soon as he's going to show his worth. I mean, he might be able to come on as a substitute. Personally, last season especially, I preferred him as a substitute.
Yeah,
it was a bit of pace, which he's still got.
That commentary game last season, that's probably his best.
Can he get outside of Lothamonia? Oh, wait, he can. What's he going to do with it?
It's possible he can. Oh, he's got another.
This is extraordinary.
Yay. 2 goals in 5 minutes. We love Chris Gorham.
We absolutely love him. But yeah, it's if he has the opportunity, he will break him. He'll do exactly what he said he's going to do.
I might get a Charlton ticket in that away end, and if I see Ernal go through him, I'm going to have the loudest cheer I've ever done in my life.
Okay, right, Calum, I wouldn't go that far. But what I might end up doing, you never know. I might end up maybe trying to obtain a Charlton shirt with him on the back.
I mean, that'd be a better idea than what I've done.
It'll be elite. It'll be absolutely lovely. Yeah. We'd absolutely love that from him. So, yeah. Overall, this Sunday, 12 p.m. kickoff. Do or die for Liam Manning. He's not going to get a warm reception there, albeit spending the majority of his playing career at Ipswich, which to be honest, I think has been overlooked a little bit. It has been. Although 100%. He has publicly said he's not an Ipswich fan, which I do believe. I stand by him. But at the moment, at this current moment in time, I stand by Manning.
Mm-hmm. I'm same way.
I think it's too early to be calling for his head. I think he's a perfectly adept manager on his day, and on his day, he can hopefully start becoming more common, which
100%.
We're all absolutely hoping for.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do you have any? We're pretty much probably coming up to the closing point of this. Do you have any closing points, my friend?
The streak will continue. I know fans have been going. I know that's why we're going to come back to me in that the worst way possible on Sunday. But mark my words, Ipswich Town 0, Norwich City 2. We're keeping a clean sheet. That's going to come back to bite me, but I'm confident, mate. I'm confident going into this. For audio listeners, we're both just trying not to have a reaction there.
Okay, right. I think we're just going to yeah, we will wait with very, very bated. That's all I can say, really, for certain.
Yeah.
Yeah. This means everything. This means everything. I hope the players know that. I hope they all know that. You know, Gabriel
They've got
Sara
to know
knew that going into the game last time round, and I hope they all know that. So yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in tonight, folks. Callum, thank you very much for coming on again.
Cheers for having me, mate.
It's a pleasure. Now, this time, you got to have me on yours. You got to have me on Studs Up, please.
I will, mate. I'll definitely get you on there.
Come on.
100%.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching, whether you've been, listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube. Been an absolute pleasure to have you. And, thanks for taking the time out of your day to listen to this yap. So, yeah, please make sure to like and subscribe to both of us. I'll tag Callum in my story as well, so you can go and follow him as well. And also, if you could put that on your story too, mate.
Of course, mate. Yeah, of course. I'll do that.
Wonderful. Ow. Okay. Right. Okay. So, thank you very much for, listening to this. And we'll see you all again on Sunday. Well, Sunday if you're going. I hope you have a safe journey there and back.
Hopefully we win.
That's all we can do. All we can do is pray.
Yeah. So, yeah.